So today I want to explore the topic of some of the astrology that is current right now and happening for this month of March. We're just stepping into a brand new month. And so right now it's I love this time of year because it's the spring equinox. And so I really feel that our highlight of what's happening in the cosmos this month that we can tap into is this energy of the spring equinox. And so today we're going to do some exercises around writing and expressing our dreams. So it's really important for us to speak what we want to create for this time of spring. Springtime is about creation. The seeds start to go in the ground. We start planting our seeds, and we plant those seeds to have a beautiful blossoming summer. So in a metaphorical way, this is a time for us to really focus on calling in our dreams, claiming it, really visualizing it, and really take the time to dream up whatever it is that's been brewing inside of you, and write it down and really start to identify what are the steps that need to go into your daily plan and your daily schedule to answer your calling. And writing it down is really that first step. And I feel this way because our conscious mind is going to lose focus every 3 minutes basically. And so we really have to honor the power of our dreams and magnify them by focusing on it more. So writing it down is going to be the first step in living our dreams by first expressing and speaking them. And when we take the time to really just see it, feel it in our bodies, we begin to call our bigger callings and our dream closer to us and believe in them. And then we start to see how the universe will work with us to bring our dreams into being. And so I'm going to walk you through some really fun steps that I've been using to help with my whole ceremony of infusing my dreams into my body and into my mind and really calling it in. And like I said, speaking it into existence and thinking it into existence and feeling it is the first step in manifesting and creating it in the physical world. And, all of that, everything that it manifests on a physical level happens first on the quantum level in the invisible world, in the world of energy. So we have to start to focus on exactly what it is that we want to call in and really claim it and own it. And there's a difference between, thinking of your dream and like having thoughts of like, oh, that's never going to happen, or how is that possible, or I'm never going to have that perfect relationship, or things don't work out with me. Like, can you see how this negative language about dreams could continue to manifest the lack of our dreams coming true? So what I want to invite you to do for this spring equinox, we have the new moon that's upon us as well. So the urge to really plant our seeds is strong right now. And I really want to invite you to create language around your dreams that is basically imagining that you already have it and imagining that it is already so. And, sometimes I think that a lot of people don't explore this activity because, there's fear in owning it. Like, if you have a big dream and you're like, how is this possible? Like, how is this ever going to happen? Like, say if I'm like I'll get a little vulnerable and share one of my big dreams, because I've been building my business for 10 years and I'm just blown away at how the law of like attraction and manifesting has come through. And I realized that I want to step it up, and I want to, you know, if I've manifested what I have so far, I'm like, that would be really cool to earn $15,000 a month with my business and like really take it to the next level. And sometimes in the past, I might have shied away from that because I would think that I need to mentally figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. But the thing is we have to leave a little room for magic from the universe. We don't have to figure out exactly every single step to achieve it. It's just kind of like the only thing left to do is the next step. First, you dream it up, and then you start to dissect it and get the information. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. We're going to do a little exercise to just call this dream in and bring it a little bit closer. So for the purpose of just having a focus for today, like there's a lot of different dreams that we could focus on, like the dream of healthy relationships. But today I think that I want to focus on money and kind of start here, and we'll do some other guided things for, you know, the rest of the month later. And I think that I wanted to do money today because it's like every human being who reaches the age of an adult basically is going to like understand the purpose of money and wish for it, right? But wishing for money is not going to bring us riches. What does, and you know, what manifests this is desiring this wealth with a state of mind that is becoming an obsession, basically. So I want to activate your obsession to obtain and bring riches into your life. And this obsession should feel like a really good thing, like a positive thing, like you have a crush on money. And so then we're going to, you know, not only dream up this bigger picture of how much money you want, but also the means of which you're going to acquire these riches and bring them in, as well as identify some of the plans that are going to back up your dreams with persistence. Because we have to have a action, right? We ask the universe to receive something, and then we have to be active in our receiving. And the way that we actively receive what we're calling in is to take action, inspired action. So once you start to identify what that big dream is, you'll see the little threads of inspired action, and that's the universe responding to your call. So it's important to receive that by taking the action that you feel guided to do, because if you don't take that action, you're actually going to block the universe answering your call. So there is a formula, and I have borrowed this formula from Napoleon Hill. I figured that it was really good to use that as a reference because it's a tried and true formula. And this comes from the book Think and Grow Rich, if you're familiar. So this formula is, I believe it's 6 steps. Let me pull up my notes here. Yeah, we've got 6 steps. And basically it's going to help you to start to see yourself in possession of money. So first step, I want you to fix. So if you can, as we go through each step, first close your eyes and just do a little picturing. So first, fix in your mind the exact amount of money that you desire. So it's not good enough to say, I want plenty of money. Like I want you to write down an exact number. How much money, you know, do you want to receive every month? Or perhaps it's a sum of money by a certain age or a certain date. So be really definite in the amount of money that you choose. Most people would say to choose an amount that feels comfortable for you. You can always increase that amount at some point. So there is a psychological reason for describing this, exact amount of money. It's really claiming it and owning it and really asking for it, right? This is something that I skipped over for so long in my manifestation. I just wasn't asking for the exact amount of money. And so I think there's a worthiness, like a self-esteem, like really having so much self-esteem in yourself that you are absolutely worth making that amount of money. So write down this amount of money that first came to mind, the exact amount of money that you desire. Okay, so second, this is piggybacking. So now I want you to determine, what are you going to do and what are you going to give in return for the money that you desire? So this is kind of on the reality of like you can't get something for nothing. So we're always in a state of giving in order to receive, right? It's like the yin and the yang, like the balance of the universe. So what are you going to give in exchange for that amount of money that you wrote down? This can be a fun area to think about your gifts and your talents. What are your skills? What are your abilities? What can you give in exchange for the money that you desire? What kind of services can you provide? Okay, so let's move on to the third step. I hope that's okay. I hope I'm not moving too fast for you. So next, I want you to establish a date that you're going to possess the money that you desire. So when are you going to receive this money? It could be a certain age, like maybe almost as if you get a check, like here's a check for $500,000 by the age of, 52. It could be by a certain date that you're going to be earning this certain amount of money. So what is the date that you're going to possess this? All right, you choose a date? Okay, great. Okay, so fourth step. Now I want you to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire. And the trick with this is to begin at once. So even if you don't feel ready, you just basically want to say, what's the first step that you need to take to put this plan into action? What is the first step? What is the plan for carrying out this desire? What can you begin to do right now? Even if you don't feel ready, what can you begin to do right now to really put this plan into action? Just write down a couple steps. You don't have to have it all figured out. Sometimes it might just be a vague idea. Maybe it's something that you've been thinking of doing for a while, but you just keep procrastinating on it. Okay, so our fifth step, are you ready? Hope I'm not moving too fast. So our fifth step is what you're going to want to do is kind of combine the first 4 steps, and you're going to write out a statement of the amount of money that you intend to acquire. You're going to name the time limit that you receive this money. You're going to state what you're going to give in return for the money. And you're going to describe very clearly the plan through which that you're going to accumulate this and call it in. So I'll just run through that one more time. Your 5th step basically is you take that answer, your first 4 answers that you just gave, and you write a statement. And you're going to, what I think, and I would like to recommend this for you, it's really nice to start a notebook for this process. Just go get like a cheap, spiral bound notebook. And then what I did for mine is I write down this statement on the very first page. And I kind of try to keep this notebook in my office pile. It's somewhere where I'm going to see it every single day. And this statement says the amount of money that I'm, calling in. It says the time frame that I'm going to receive it. It says what I intend to do in order to receive this money. And then it describes this plan that it all starts to accumulate. So step 5 takes a little bit of time, but if you have some different ideas, just start to jot those down, and then eventually you can kind of translate your vision onto a full page. It doesn't need to be this huge long thing. It could even just be a simple statement that's like a couple sentences. So then our 6th and final step in this process is that you want to read your statement out loud twice a day. And you do it once before you go to bed, and then you also read it once after you wake up in the morning. Can you imagine how different your days are going to be compounded over time to read this out loud and really, as you're reading it, seeing it and feeling it? And that's one reason why we recommend choosing something that feels exciting to you, like not choosing a number that's too big and scary, because ideally you want whatever amount that you choose to like activate this feeling of excitement inside of you. And the only way I can describe that feeling, it's almost like you feel this fluttering in your chest, like say if you had something in the mail that you were really excited to receive, like the most amazing new pair of shoes, and you're like, I can't wait for my new shoes to arrive, yay, yay. That's what you want to feel about this like riches statement. You want to just be like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for this like entree that I just ordered at the restaurant to arrive. It's going to be so delicious. And that's the kind of vibe that you want to bring in as you're reading your statement out loud twice daily, before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning. And it's not enough to just read it out loud. Like I said, you really want to activate what I call, it's your third eye. This is like your area of imagination. So as you're reading your statement, you are seeing yourself in possession of riches. You are feeling what it's like to own it and to claim it. And you're already believing yourself to be in that possession of the money. And so one thing that I like to do in my statement is I'll start to dream up what I would be doing as somebody earning that much money, and what my reality would look like. How would I dress? What would I be thinking? So this process is really powerful, and it's kind of like your schedule, basically. once you identify this and you've identified what steps you're going to take, what your time frame is, then the universe will start to lay out all of your steps there. So this is a shift in consciousness. This is the whole concept of working smarter and not harder, right? I think that sometimes we think that we just need to labor ourselves, but the reality is that those who accumulate great success have hope, they're wishing, desiring, planning, and all of those things are happening before that money and that rank is acquired. So, like I said, this really ties back into self-confidence and a belief in ourselves. And so that's going to be another thing that you're going to want to do in this process. Once you have your statement, the other thing that I recommend that's kind of a complementary little thing for it is start to do confidence boosting exercises, so that every day you're doing something that makes you feel a little more amazing about yourself. So the best way to boost your confidence is to write down a list of everything that brings you joy. What activities do you do that just make you just radiate and beam contentment and positivity? Like, what elevates you like no other? And you really want to get clear about some of those. Those are your confidence and self-esteem boosting exercises. I call it your joy list. And so moving into this spring, that's another thing that you'll want to do is plant these seeds for and cultivate your inner joy and your self-confidence. And you'll want to write down probably at least 20 to 30 activities or things that bring you joy. And this is non-negotiable, because as a rich person, self-care is first, right? So as you're calling in these riches, you're activating the part of yourself that is amazing, and doing these joy-bringing activities are really going to help you stay in that vibrational state of attracting your riches and calling it into the now. So, for example, when we set these big goals, obstacles will show up a lot and will kind of try to derail us off of our mission and our purpose. And sometimes a lot of this is just our subconscious fears and different things, the universe trying to, stop us, or whatever you want to think of it. So that's always going to show up. And your joy list is going to keep you focused and help you keep your eye on the prize. You do not want to lose focus, because that's why a lot of people don't achieve our dreams, right? We set out and we write out this whole thing and dream up the vision, and then obstacles pop up and we just get derailed off of that vision and move away. One of the things that I like to do is create music. That is like my number one go-to joy list activity, because on this path of building my own business and attracting new clients in this whole process, I've had to face a lot of fears. The universe asks us to get out of our comfort zone when we reach for these big dreams. And so I know that whenever I'm a little off balance, that I can go back to my joy list. I'll go make some music. I'll make a hot cacao beverage. I will take every blanket and pillow I own and put it into a pile and curl up in that. So it's like, go for a walk, it's good to have that list there. And then every day doing something on that list, reading your statement out loud, and start to watch how the universe works alongside with you to bring your dreams into being. So I think that it would be really fun to empower each other and activate our throat chakras by sharing our statement out loud. Is that too vulnerable? Is that too scary? Sometimes it is a little bit for me, but I know if you're feeling like your statement's not perfect, it's okay. This is the first step. This is a safe spot. We're here to empower each other. And so let's take the first leap outside of our comfort zone and just kind of go around. And if everyone, if I'm not pushing you too far by doing this, no pressure, but it would be great to hear what dream that you're claiming and really just hold space for you while you own it. Who's first?
Hey,